On the rest of your pyramid, I have a 2006 plan, that would be on the next line, a weekly plan, that'll be on the next line, and then a daily plan on the last line. I hope I did my lines correct. 8. Now to your circle. 168 hours in a week. Assume for the moment you sleep 56 a week. That's 8 times 7. Seems like a nice round number. So draw a pie chart for 56. I realize this is not, that spatially we may have some issues here. This is not meant to be perfect. 56. Next, how many hours, if you're working for a law firm, how many hours a week do you bill? Stated another way, how many does it take to bill what you bill? That would be a better way to put it. If you work for a corporation or a government, how many hours a week do you work? So let's assume, just for the sake of discussion, that's 40. So you would draw a pie chart. It'd be, spatially it'd be smaller than 56. But next, how many hours a week are you willing to spend on your development or client development or things that you don't have to do but are affecting you as a professional? I have never spent less than 10 hours a week on things related to my development, client development. I was a practice group leader, that took time. So let's just say, for the sake of discussion, you're going to spend 10 on that. If you're not, your numbers don't need to be my numbers, but I'm just using it as an example. That would leave you, if my math is correct, 62 hours. You have 62 waking hours to be a good mom or dad, to be a good son or daughter, to be a good husband or wife, to be active in the community, to be fit, to be active in your church, to have hobbies. 62 waking hours. That's a lot of hours. And I often say, how you spend that development time will determine the quality of your career, and how you spend the 62 waking hours that's personal time will determine the quality of your life. Anyone see The Bachelor? I think it was the final one this week. Anyone see that? Anyone? Okay, two. Anyone watch Beauty and the Geek last night? Beauty and the Geek? No? Okay. Don't ever talk to me about work-life balance if you're watching The Bachelor. I don't want to hear about work-life balance. My point simply is not to make fun of The Bachelor. I think it's almost as good as Fear Factor. My daughter has her list of shows. Like, she's got to watch Survivor. She's got to watch The Great Race. I don't watch any of those. But anyway, my point has little to do with the television shows. What it really has to do with is, don't try to get balance in your life, but try to plan your life around your priorities. Your priorities are your roles. Plan your personal time with at least the same allegiance that you plan your office time. Spend as much time doing that. I often talk about my 30th anniversary trip. And our 30th anniversary trip, we went to Ireland. This year, or 2005 was our 35th anniversary. We had a wedding. We didn't do anything fun for us. But But our 30th anniversary trip, we went to Ireland. And Nancy planned this trip. She took at least 40 hours planning the trip, at least. We stayed in about 5 different places, and she actually had the room picked out, not just the place. She picked out where we were going to play golf and all that. And so I asked young lawyers, what can you learn about, this is like the Wachovia commercial, what can you learn about your career based on my 30th anniversary trip? And while you're thinking about that, I'll tell you about my 25th anniversary trip. Nancy came to me and she said, 25, that's a really important year. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, sounds good. She said, where are we going for a trip? I said, well, I haven't given that much thought. She said, well, I think about it because we need to have a really nice trip, 25th anniversary. So I came back to her and I said, I'd love to go to Tahiti. And she, by anyone who knows Nancy, you can just picture her face going, why would you want to go to Tahiti? I said, well, we didn't even have BlackBerries at the time. Cell phones don't work. I don't think they have a newspaper. It's the most romantic place in the world. We're going to be in this thatched thing over water, and it'll be just romance galore. And she said, well, we're going to Switzerland. And I said, well, if you had already decided where we were going, why did you ask me? And she said, on the off chance you said Switzerland, then it would have been your idea. Take a guess who picked where we went on our 30th anniversary. So what can you learn by her planning? First of all, I want you to spend more time planning your career than you spend planning your favorite vacation trip. Point 1. Point 2, ask yourself why. Why did she want to go to Ireland? Golf, beer, she's Irish. She knew exactly why. Ask yourself what. When you plan a trip, you decide what you want to do. When you plan a trip, you say how you're going to do it. When you plan a trip, you actually get an itinerary so you know what next. It's just like planning your career. So, my suggestion for finding the sense of fulfillment, the sense of satisfaction, is to go through that process of why, what, how, roles, what next, goals, and then actually plan it.